Oh, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is May 25th of 2023, almost 10 a.m. in the morning. You may hear me. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I've been up for a long time and I've been working on this project, purchasing this webcam software, Bandicam. I just paid for it. And I haven't had anything to eat. And I wanted to make this video as quick as so I could see it and so you could see it also. And it's brand new. I mean, for me, it's brand new. And I mean, I've made a couple real short little things to see where everything and messed up. So this, I don't want to mess this up, by the way. I want to know that this is going to work. Now, I may take a nap in a little bit, and it'd be nice to go to bed and think, okay, I've taken care of installing this software, and it's going to work. And excuse me here. The software, you can try it out, but I'm not sure how long. And it puts a watermark. I don't think I saw the watermark because I played with it a little bit, made a couple mistakes, you know. I had the screen size, wrong screen size. It wasn't 1080p, it was a larger size. Anyway, I made a bunch of mistakes. And, but I went ahead and paid for it. And the price is, I think they've saved 10%. Probably everybody, you know, and my nose always offers, you know, a percentage off. I think that's a regular price, you know. Anyway, 10% off was $33. But I went ahead and paid for the one-time payment. I think we've talked about this on here. I don't know how many times over the years that I have paid for a lifetime. Well, even ManyCam, same thing, you know. And yeah, so I know that lifetime doesn't mean lifetime. It'd be nice if a company, I don't know how many times over the years, before there was a YouTube, before there was any of those, and I was online, and I don't know how many times some excellent software and excellent companies too, and they had, you know, offered lifetime membership, and then, you know, then they changed it. Or sometimes they wouldn't even say that, okay, they'd say, well, and that was for version 10, you got a lifetime membership, but now there's version 11 is out. It's a new, you know, I mean, know about it. So anyway, I'm not going to be upset. Anyway, I paid $44 for a lifetime. But also remember, I'm 82, so yeah, they might keep doing it for lifetime, for my lifetime. Here's a sample video, I think, but I'm going to delete it because I don't know what all was in that, actually. I mean, there was no porn or anything like that, and I've been just sitting here trying to, good grief, my nose. Am I allergic to cheese? Okay, I got to tell you about the switches that I made. I moved Windows 11 over here. So my Windows 10 box is not hooked up right now. Here, it's just sitting here, but I moved Windows 11 over here. And I'm using the Chrome book is hooked up here. So this is operating with Chrome. I haven't had a chance to mess with it, but every time I pull up the Chrome laptop, right away over the years, it tells me almost immediately that, you're out of storage space, And so that'll be happening, I'm sure real quick on that, because it always does. But I have, I thought I had one laying here. I do have one, actually, but I have others. Now this is, USB, and takes a micro. And so this is one way I can add, and this is, okay, goddamn, terrible to get old. This is 28, but I can't read it. I could if I went over in some light, I could read it. So I have, correct, okay. Then I have a USB, portable USB that I can plug in with memory. I forget how much memory. I think that's 1 terabyte, I believe. I've got, by the way, in my, let's see here. You ought to have something else, I guess, on the screen. On my cell phone, Samsung Galaxy Note 9, I think there's 256 memory in here, I believe. Now, that I've seen just recently 1 terabyte for unbelievably low prices. But then I see that 1 or 2 of the names that you recognize and whatever, with a price of like $40 or $50 or something. I'm a poor man, but I want to get a good chip. So if you have any recommendations, I've been looking, and a little bit on on YouTube. Just at Amazon. I've been looking. This is Valvidia browser, by the way. I'm also running, what's the other, a couple browsers. And one of them has artificial intelligence built into it. Anyway, they look good. I mean, these browsers look good, but I'm so used to Chrome. And then some of these, some of them I just want to do too much, want to control too much, but some of them I think they've improved. So I think I need to look, to look at them and see which is the best one to use. I don't think I've even got Chrome. I don't think I deleted Chrome, but I don't think it's on my taskbar down here. And then there was one that was just driving me crazy with sending shit to me. And and I just don't have right now everything. I'm kind of tired. And when I get done with this, if I get done with this, then I want to go over here and decide what I'm going to do over here. I could move the Windows 10 over here. I could continue to use the Chrome laptop, It appears I've got it hooked up to the screen, you know, to the big monitor. Just don't know what I want to do at this point. If you've watched the last maybe couple videos, you've seen that, man, the audio was driving me. Was it the audio? Yeah, the audio was driving me crazy. I spent hours and hours working on that. Oops, I put it here, but I see it's not here. Really nice speaker that I've used in different situations. A long speaker that feels like metal. And it seemed somehow, and I've used it in different places when I needed it, and it was working over here. And then all of a sudden, when I made some changes, and I kept, why isn't things working? I got all this stuff. Then I decided, I'm just going to unplug that and put up, and I got I think a $10 or $14. They were laying in one of my boxes, speakers, and I took that off and hooked it up, and then I started getting audio. I don't know. Do I have dementia, Alzheimer's or something? Was it actually everything working? I don't know. So I'm guessing that you're seeing, I hope you're seeing this, because when I messed with this new software, Bandicam, I'll put the link, you can do a search for it, but I'll put the link. I'll probably put the link, or maybe I'll come back and put the link down underneath this video. I'm not sure. Want to wait a little bit, see if everything catches fire, see what happens. Before I put the link in. If you click on it, I don't make any money from it, But please do use my Amazon links below, because it'd be nice to have. I just spent $44. It'd be nice to make that back, This is the breakfast or whatever. Cheese. This has port wine supposedly added to it. I don't think it does, but it shows, there's some, but I like it. Let me set the lid on there. I had a fly problem yesterday or whatever, and it looked to me like they were, because I thought, where are the flies coming from? A couple of them, driving me crazy. It's sliding the patio door open and putting food out for the cats. And I guess because I went out there to put water in the watering dish, and then there was a bunch of flies flying around where the food is. Well, let's see what CNN's news is. Right now, I'm just sort of playing around to see how things are going to work. Yeah, there was, so I guess I can make that pop up again. There was a thing that somehow went around the top, but I slid it around once I got it up there. Then it had some information across the top to let me know what was going on. Governor of Florida isn't doing too, Republican governor of Florida isn't doing too well. We don't have a debt limit over here yet. I'm not going to talk about it. I think I mentioned it before. Stephen Twitch died by suicide without other causes, coroner. I don't know who that is. Thousands of stocks recovered by Italian police. I've been seeing a bunch. You probably have too if you go to a legitimate news site. I've been seeing where a bunch of people are, some governments are turning back, giving back stuff that was taken, I guess, from Egypt and places like that a long time ago. So they can go back into their museums, And then a whole bunch of people are finding stuff. You know, what was it? Somebody found, I don't know, I think a couple $100,000 worth of stuff just in a box or something. Been sitting there forever. You know, nobody thought anything about it. All kinds of stuff. Again, this is Vididity. Never mind. Browser. I kind of like it because of the way they got it organized now. But I don't know if I might change my mind in an hour. CNN's, front page. As I've said many, many times now, come on, they're CNN, supposed to be sort of like New York Times. I mean, the, YouTube site of record or something like that. And they have just a tremendous amount of advertising at the end of the, well, not just at the end, stuck in here various places. Let's see, wow. Supreme Court rolls back federal safeguards for wetlands under the Clean Water Act. The Republican majority on the Supreme Court, they are just, they're just doing everything they can. I mean, who wants to really roll back the Clean Water Act? I mean, and other things, the air purity and all kinds of stuff. The Republicans, majority of the Supreme Court do. It looks like, man, that Trump, everything is coming down on Trump as it should, in my opinion, and on the rest of them. Insurrection, treason. And right now we have a large number of Republicans in Congress who, in my opinion, are, guilty of treason. Well, to a lighter item. Man arrested after shooting a roommate during a fight about eating the last Hot Pocket, Kentucky police say. That's not, that's normal. You just don't know when somebody is going to attack you. Wow. Share details spending time with Tina Turner during a long illness. That's nice. Right now I'm not a Cher fan, but I've been a Cher fan about her music. I mean, I didn't purchase any of it, but and Madonna, both of them. And I've seen a couple movies. There was one about the school teacher who was gay in a small town or whatever. And I think those were like in this thing, he doesn't even know he's to begin with in the movie. He doesn't know he's gay. It's a high school teacher, but I think his friends. It's his birthday, so his friends. So anyway, he somebody says to him, "Hey, you're gay," and he's not. Then he starts thinking, Then he's they're having a birthday party for him, his friends, and they give him records of if you were gay, supposedly, those are the singers that you liked and stuff like that. And then he was like, oh, it's starting to, and I think Madonna and Cher, I think, are on that. But I liked the way they dressed, and the way they sang. Now here's where the advertising starts just tremendously on. Okay, that's the thing. See, I don't know how long I've been recording, but I think I don't want to mess with it now because I'll shut this. I want to, be able to upload this thing and then I'll learn more and come back or whatever. looks like President Carter. Oh, you're seeing it. Yeah, it looks like President Carter. Funny, a remarkable man, Carter. He didn't turn out to be a good president, actually. He had the right ideas, but about conservation of resources and all that type of thing. I live near, which I've mentioned in my video. I live near a air base, military air base. Anyway, and then too, and there's none of, I haven't heard anybody else say it really, ever, I don't think. Carter was president, and our embassy in Iran was, taken over by a bunch of students, and then they were held, I think, for about a year. President Carter launched a military strike to recover them. It was very, risky, and it didn't work out. They didn't make it that far. The weather, in that area was tearing up the helicopters and all kinds of problems. And then Reagan was running for president against him, and I'm convinced, but I'm the only one that I know of. I haven't heard of anybody else ever say this, but which would be a terrible thing for President Reagan to do, but I think he did it, or people underneath him. But I think they still would have had to have his, okay. I think they made a deal because he was running for president. Reagan was, and a deal was made because the hostages were when Reagan was taking his oath of office. They were released immediately while the oath was being administered, And then, of course, we also found out that Reagan, because American people were so angry and Congress was so angry, they passed things while Carter was in office that we will not deal with, fuck them, those sons of bitches, and man, that people were really upset, and as they should be, really, holding those people for about a year prisoner, and they were, an embassy. They had diplomatic immunity. The site was an embassy and had diplomatic, immunity, and it was just. But so anyway, Congress passed, no selling of anything, to Iran, nothing. People were mad. American people were mad. And anyway, of course, also having nothing to do, well, it did have something to do with that. Then Congress was upset was afraid that the United States was going to get into, I don't even remember the name, was it Nicaragua? And one of those countries down there, and there was a group down there that wanted to overthrow the government, and as put in a communist form of government or whatever. So Congress wanted to keep us out of getting, because the United States, if you look back over our history, I don't know how many times the United States invaded Cuba to change their government, before Castro we're talking about. I don't know how many times. And all the other, Haiti, United States, our troops in the old days were, going into those countries like crazy. We were, we shouldn't have been. That was because of, you know, walk softly and carry a big stick, president or whatever. But anyway, the Congress passed saying that we were not to engage in get involved in Honduras or whatever was going on down there. I even forget now whether the government, was already liberal or if it was just because it's so. But anyway, Congress passed a thing. So when Reagan took office, all of a sudden, there was a law that we were not to do any dealings with, Iran, and undercover, secretly, with people lying and everything else, and going before Congress because they were being asked, okay, now we want to make sure, is the, Reagan administration, they're not going to be involved in anything because no, we're not involved at all. And okay, whatever it is, whether it's kind of Honduras or whatever, and Nicaragua, I forget, it doesn't matter. And we're not involved in any way down there. And we're, no, you're, senator or congressman or whatever. No, we're not doing that. And then it turns out that, the Reagan administration made a deal while this law existed that the United States was not to, the only thing we could give to Iran would be to spit or something on them. We were selling them supplies, and of course at the time when it came out, oh no, we're not selling them any military stuff. Well, yeah, we're selling them trucks, but not tanks, Well, yeah, we're selling them uniforms, but not, And then it turns out, of course, that money that came in from those sales, the Reagan administration used that to buy guns and things for down in South America where we were not supposed to be involved. And there was, Republican members of the, Reagan staff and everything swearing before Congress, not just once, but, repeatedly in different committees and everything. Oh, we have nothing to do with that. No, we're out of it. So, Carter didn't do well as president because he had some good, things, but American people didn't want to turn when it was hot out, they didn't want to turn the air conditioner down, and when it was cold out, they wanted to turn the heat up, and all these type of things. With the fact that he didn't seem to be able to get our people back from, Iran. And in the very beginning, I'm really not opposed to wars. I mean, unless you have to. But in that case, I was of the opinion, I might have been one of the few, I don't know. I was of the opinion, just tell them you invaded, our embassy was the same as them invading the United States or whatever. And I think the president should have just said, hey, state of war is going to exist between your country and our country. We're ready to respond, release these people immediately, or else. And I think that they would have been released. But Carter didn't do anything like that, although he did launch a strike that didn't work, Carter's problem was, one, his religion, and of course he really is religious. I mean, not like the ones that in the, the right wing, and I guess in other areas too, that claim to be, Christian or religious, and they're not at all. Exactly, they're opposed to, they're exact opposite of being religious. And he really was. And maybe now, I mean, we wouldn't want to do this. We wouldn't want to, but, maybe somebody who's really religious, uh, maybe, you shouldn't be running for president. That's, but the other thing was, of course, he was from Georgia and he didn't like what was going on, partially because of like religious things too. Not he wasn't against other religions or whatever, but the government really is not very religiously inclined, and even the ones nowadays that supposedly the ones that are crazy, right wing, religious people, they're not religious at all. They're the exact opposite. But anyway, so that was probably another problem for Carter, that wheeling and dealing and stuff going on in the background that shouldn't be going on, and he didn't fit. So he brought his people from Georgia with him that he trusted. And that didn't work out well for him either, because they didn't know, unfortunately, we want to kick all these people out of office, really. I mean, I think the American people really, we want them all out of office. Of course, they're Republicans. I'm not sure you can call them Republicans anymore, but, the right wing, want to take them out and put in people that are worse, But so he brought people from Georgia, and they didn't know how to do, they didn't know how to do things. I think also I read or heard on the news that Carter wanted to make sure, nobody was doing any kind of backstabbing and stuff that went on here with, is going on with Trump. And so maybe that's why he wanted to approve everything and read everything and know what was going on. And I'm sorry, if you're president of the United States, you need to surround yourself with good people, smart people, and let them do their job. I mean, you need to be president, but you can't, So, I mean, he was just sort of doomed to a bad term, and he had it 4 years, And then, of course, when the investigation came out about Iran and South America and stuff like that, the Republicans came out and totally lied about it, lied about everything. Oh, no, And Reagan, of course, people liked him. Even a lot of Democrats, the American people kind of liked him, But he was, guilty as hell of all that. But he came out, oh, no, not him. Just some Marine colonel in the basement or something like that, he did the whole thing. He just ran the whole thing. I don't care if the guy had been a Marine general. There's no Marine general or Army general or Air Force general or whatever in the basement of the White House, that's running a war, violating major laws where people are going, members of the cabinet are going before the Congress and, doing perjury, and there's no, sending of tons of arms down to, that was all. Now, for a little bit, the people were at this, of course, they were mistaken. The American people was, well, this Marine colonel, he did it all, and so he's to blame, and he's the one that should be held responsible. And this Marine, I think he was a colonel, he's called in, he's already testified, before the committee investigating, what the hell should happen, what happened, and whether the president was guilty. And although I don't think even then they were like, well, the president, even they were like, oh, Ronald Reagan, nice guy, and but this, this guy is, he's responsible. We can keep it off of, keep it off of Reagan, you know. And so they were waiting, you know. They'd already tested. He'd already been there, you know. But so he goes back, but this time he goes back with his Marine Corps uniform on and his medals and everything else. And then all of a sudden, the Congress people, oh, okay, you know. I mean, they don't want to be seen by their parishioners. They're not well, they are their right-wing parishioners, but you know, they're people back home that is attacking a, you know, decorated, you know, member of the military, and so, you know, nothing happened. Okay, how long has this been? I don't know. How do I stop this? I forget. I think I wrote down F10, I think. So I'm going to do that now and upload it and see what it looks like, and it's almost 11 o'clock. I should go to bed, take a little nap, but I think I'll probably be doing something else because I'm kind of behind. But let's see what this video looks like. Let's see. I think I click on this. Oops. I think I just said F10. I wrote it down. Oh, come on, where are you? F12, record, and wait a minute. F12, okay. F12, record and stop. Okay, cross your fingers.